Bring your business online with GoDaddy. Start finding the right domain today. Our web hosting plans are reliable. Professional emails build trust with your customers and help grow your business. Join the millions of businesses that trust GoDaddy.
Yes po. Hello po, good morning po. Ito na po. Wala po sa Bulwaga. Oriental din namin dito po kami sa Oriental Conference. Saka sa Pias. Sa Pias. Wala po. May iba po sa Bulwaga. Sa Bulwaga po wala. Pero may meeting po kami. Opo. Ito po kapan. Kasi pwede naman po sila. Ito Kinsa may isa? sir, may tanong po. Mali po, nasa online ako. Si po nasa traffic. Tapos yung 5-5 nasa ano po, nasa meeting. Ito pa rin. Ito sa may online sir na. Kasi meron po sir. Hindi na lang nasa online. Pero si Yusef, siya rin po. So si Neret, Match. Match. Sir James.
Wala sir.
Sa Kasi science and math.
Science and math.
Ano very important.
Okay. Okay. If we're ready, Baksek, are we ready? Are we ready? Start. James, go.
Good morning everyone. Welcome to the press conference for the 2024 current year for science and mathematics. The current conference is headed by our chairperson, Dr. Jessica Silas.
Morning, morning.
We are also joined by our members, Mr. Roderick Focus, Executive,
Morning, Chef.
and Ms. Alma Akalay.
Morning po, sir. Morning po.
We are also joined online by our regular member, Director Eileen Padillo. Morning, Director Eileen. The Mr. Chair, we are also joined by representatives from the Bureau of Learning Resources, Cebu, Mr. Virgilio Agor, Ms. Jocelyn Persiano, Dale Navarro, J. Mark Aguilar, Andrea Alves, Alco Bercoso, Maria Tita Valenzuela, and Bradford Isolda. From the previous Mr. Chair, we are joined by Mika Teti, Mr. Mundo, and Mr. Jonathan Juliana. From Edu Resources Publishing Coordinated, Ms. Suki Dago, and Ms. Lunia.
Morning.
And then from Amazon's Educational Resources Incorporated, Mr. Earl Joseph Andrade, and Mr. Andura Ann Torredo. We're also joined by Mr. Virgilio Acuña, as an observer, and from the back secretariat, the project in charge is Ms. Mona Janine Madrid. We now have a call Mr. Chair and the back secretary is ready to take governance up now.
Proceed, Baksek. This is a reading conference or
Previous
reading conference. Inform them about the nature. This is EPA, James, right?
Yes, Mr.
All right. Before we start our reading conference, I wonder if you guys know what an EPA is. Early procurement activity. Do you know what it is? Do you have any information of what an EPA is all about? So basically, the EPA is like it's still a bidding, still public bidding, still under 9184. But the difference is we cannot go beyond RTA. Mainly because there is no approved budget as yet based on the GAA. So what we have is only the indicative budget based on the NEP or the National Expenditure Plan. So basically, each office at the beginning, for example, of the after the call, the period of what's that period again, James? The budget call. No? There is this budget call. It's normally done sometimes February, the start of February, and agencies are asked to do their budget for the following year. So in our case, the budget for 2024 was prepared in 2023, sometime in February. Okay, so the office prepares its budget, and we submit it to the Department of Budget and Management. The Department of Budget and Management go through our budget and eventually submits it to Congress, no? Because Congress has the power of the purse. So what happens then is that that budget is called the National Expenditure Plan because that budget is prepared by the executive branch of government. Okay? So the executive branch of government prepares the budget and submits it to Congress for approval. Since it is submitted to Congress for approval, Congress may or may not approve the budget as indicated in the NEP. So for example, DepEd proposed a budget for this activity, for this project of about 100 million. It can happen that Congress will slash it to 50 million. Okay? So what we have proposed is 100 million, but Congress can slash it to only 50 million. In which case, for example, if that budget affects this project, then if all the bills are beyond the approved budget of Congress, then we have to redo the activity. That is why there is no notice of award. Okay? Our activity is only limited to the RTA or resolution to award, which means that we or may not proceed with the project depending on Congress's action on the budget proposed for the project. Okay? Again, if the proposal is lower, if the approval or the approved budget is lower than the proposal, and all the bids are beyond the approved budget of Congress, then we forego the bidding, we redo it again. Or in the worst case, Congress does not approve of any amount for the project, then the bidding is scrapped. Okay? So that is basically one of the foremost trait of our EPA. No? So all the rest, all the processes are the same, the timelines are the same, but again, to emphasize, we will stop on the RTA part. Why? Because from the RTA, it now goes to the HOPE, and the HOPE cannot award any contract which does not have funds approved by Congress. So nasususpendo ang panahon dyan from the time of resolution to award given to the HOPE. Nasususpend yan until the approval of the budget. No? So pag sinabing halimbawa, may RTA tayo ngayong December or first week ng January, nag-RTA na ang BAC. But then, wala pa, hindi pa napirmahan yung GAA or the General Appropriations Act by the President. Ang mangyayari doon, hindi obliged ng ating HOPE na mag-issue ng NTA and eventually notice to proceed. No? Hindi mo na mangyayari yun until may labas yung budget as stated in the GAA, and we are able to determine na yung budget stated in the GAA vis-a-vis the budget or the proposals that you guys did on the project are well within the GAA budget. Kasi ulitin ko, pag biyan yan, uulitin yan lang. Okay? So we will cancel the bidding and redo it. Again, as worst case scenario, pag wala talagang budget, we'll scrap. Okay? So that is basically the difference. Alright. There. The circular that governs it is GPPD 06-2019. There are modifications specifically on recurring transactions like security and others. Pwede kasing magkaroon ng repeat contract. No? Anyway, so along this line, I hope that you guys understand. Do you have any questions on the EPA? Kasi early procurement activity to. This is still done. Early procurement activity is done so that we are able to ensure, the department is able to ensure that all the procurement activities that needs to be done in the year, uh, in the year, in the year na ng budget, halimbawa 2024, ay magagawa, mangyayari. So, so that is basically the reason why we do this early procurement activity. Okay, so do you have any questions first on the early procurement activity? Wala? Okay, I hope that things are clear with you. So James, let's proceed.
This project was advertised and posted on the Indep's website, Facebook, and the activity work on November 30, 2020. For purposes of information to the listeners, the video conference is undertaken to clarify and address bidders' questions on the different aspects of the procurement account and for bidders to fully understand the requirements. Please note that any statement issued shall not modify the terms unless in writing and issued through supplemental. For the approved budget for the contract and the list of items, for lot number one, it developed basic site kit, which is 146,887,225.77 For lot two, developed science and mathematics equipment for elementary, junior high school, and senior high school, 199,415,461.33 For lot number three, developed storage cabinets, 164,123,399.75 For lot number four, chemicals, 14,695,348.21 For lot five, glassware and lab tools, 87,632,867.16
Uh, Excuse me, ma'am. I think Director Perdido is online. Have you accepted her? Yes. Okay na. Sige, please continue, siya.
For lot six, science devices, instruments, and measuring tools for matter, 237,798,335.42 For lot seven, science devices, instruments, and measuring tools for earth and space and living things, 250,108,848.79 For lot 8, mathematical manipulatives, 282,167,773.45. Lot 9, mathematical tools and instrument, 185,034,568.90 For lot 10, models, earth and other heavenly bodies, 133,430,000, 560.95 For lot number 11, models, the human anatomy, 108,367,272.90 For lot number 12, models, other biological structures and species, 32,467,754.76 For lot 13, models, molecular geometry, 62,985,467.16 And lot number 14, force, motion, and energy kits, 167,988,559.49 for the total EPC amount of 2,073,034,444.04
Okay, by the way, absent before we continue, did you invite our observers?
Yes, Mr. Chair, we also invited our observers for last November 30th.
Alright, did they respond? They responded, but they are not here. What's important is they responded. Okay, continue.
We started the issuance of the billing documents for this project last November 30, 2023, and may be downloaded at the following websites, notices.builders.gov.ph and webnet.gov.ph. Cost of billing documents for lot number 1 is 5,314.24 centavos. Lot number 2, 7,214.66 centavos. Lot number 3, 5,937.82 centavos. Lot 4, 531 pesos and 66 centavos. Lot 5, 3,170 and 47 centavos. Lot number 6, 8,645 centavos. Lot number 7, 9,048.69 centavos. Lot number 8, 10,208.55 centavos. Lot number 9, 6,694.37 centavos. Lot number 10, 4,827.39 centavos. Lot 11, 3,120.62 centavos. Lot number 12, 1,174.65 centavos. Lot number 13, 2,278.75 centavos. And lot number 14, 6,077.66 centavos for the total bidding documents fee of 75,000. The number of prospective bidders that have purchased the bidding documents as of December 6, 2023, 6 p.m. No bidders as of that time. And the pre-bid conference is open to all interested parties who have or have not bought the bidding documents. Salient points of the bidding documents. For IPB Clause 5.3, bidders should have completed within a period of 10 years immediately preceding the deadline of submission of bids, SLCC similar to the contracts to be bid, and the values of which are adjusted by the bidders to current prices using the PSA's Consumer Price Index. The SLCC must be at least 50% of the ATC of the lots to be bid for, or at least two similar contracts, and the total of the aggregated contract amount should be equivalent to at least 50% of the ATC of the package to be bid for. And the largest of these similar contracts must be equivalent to at least 25% of the ATC of the package to be bid. For this purpose, contracts similar to the project shall be for mass production items. Lot 3, developed storage cabinets must be manufactured and supplied and delivered at level product. For market items, lots 1, 2, 4 to 14, supply and delivery of science and or mathematics equipment. For BDS ITB Clause 7.1b, subcontracting shall not be allowed for this project. BDS ITB Clause 9, requests for clarifications must be in writing and submitted at least 10 calendar days before the deadline set for the submission and receipt of bids, and must be addressed to the procuring entity's address of the Block 6 chairperson. Consistent with Section 22.5.3 of the 2016 revised IRR of RA 9184, posting on the PhilJEPS and the procuring entity's website of any supplemental or equal fee shall be considered sufficient notice to all bidders or parties concerned. For ITB Clause 10, documents comprising the technical component should have original copies of the Class A eligibility legal documents such as the SEC-TPI or the CTA registration certificate and the mayor's permit. May not be submitted on the date and time of the bid submission. However, the bidder must be able to present such original copies during post-qualification on demand by the bank or its authorized representatives for validation. For ITB Clause 11, the documents comprising the bid shall be the financial component. The second bid envelope shall contain the financial documents for the bid, and the bid form and price schedule shall be per lot as prescribed in the forms provided. For ITB Clause 12, the price of the goods shall be quoted to the designated public elementary, junior high, and senior high schools, or the applicable international commercial terms for this project. Bid prices should be written in 2 decimal places only. Bid prices that are written in more than 2 decimal places shall be rounded off. Results of bid evaluation that will exceed the ABC shall be a grant or rejection of the bids. For BDS ITB Clause 14.1, the bid security shall be in the form of a bid security declaration or any of the following forms and amounts. You can see for the breakdown of the bid security amounts. For the bid security declaration, no percentage is required to submit for BDS. For ITB Clause 14.2, in the case of EBA, the procuring entity may request the bidders to extend the validity of their bid securities beyond 120 calendar days prior to their expiration, if the funding source for the procurement project has yet to be approved and made effective. A change in the form of the bid security is allowed if this is made prior to the expiration of the bid validity, sought to be extended. If the bidder refuses to extend the bid validity, the procuring entity shall reject the bid submitted by the said bidder. ITB Clause 15, prospective bidders shall enclose their original eligibility and technical documents in a sealed envelope marked as original technical proposal. Copies thereof shall be similarly sealed in envelopes marked as copy 1 technical proposal and copy number 2 technical proposal as well. In addition, the USB flash drive containing the soft copy of the original eligibility and technical documents shall be marked as USB flash drive. The said envelopes containing the original and the copies and the flash drive shall then be enclosed in one single envelope marked as technical proposal. On the other hand, the original of their financial document shall be enclosed in another sealed envelope marked as original financial proposal, with copies 1 and 2 financial proposal. The USB flash drive containing the soft copy of the original financial documents shall also be marked as USB flash drive and enclosed in one single envelope marked as financial proposal. Further, the envelopes marked as technical proposal and financial proposal shall be enclosed and or sealed in another envelope marked as mother envelope. To facilitate the receipt and classification of bid envelopes, the mother envelope shall be colored red, the inner envelope containing the technical proposal shall be in blue, and the financial proposal shall be in green. And if the bidder opts to submit the post-qualification documents with the eligibility documents, the envelope shall be colored brown. Unsealed or unmarked bid envelopes shall be rejected. However, bid envelopes that are not properly sealed and marked as required in the bidding documents shall be accepted provided that the bidder or its duly authorized representative shall acknowledge such condition of the bid as submitted. The bank shall assume no responsibility for the misplacement of the contents of the improperly sealed or marked bid or for its premature opening. Online submission of bids for this project is not allowed. For reference, here's the saving and marking of bids for illustration. For IDB Clause 19.5, the computation of a prospective bidder's NFCC must be at least equal to the ABC to be bid, calculated as follows. NFCC is equal to current assets minus current liabilities times 15 minus the value of all outstanding or uncompleted portions of the projects under ongoing contracts, including awarded contracts yet to be started, coinciding with the lot or aggregate of lots bid for. The values of the domestic bidder's current assets and current liabilities shall be based on the latest audited financial statements submitted to the BIR. For purposes of computing the foreign bidder's NFCC, the value of the current assets and current liabilities shall be based on their audited financial statements prepared in accordance with international financial reporting standards. If the prospective bidder submits a committed line of credit, it must be at least equal to 10% of the ABC of the lots or lots bid for, provided that if the same is issued by a foreign universal or commercial bank, it shall be confirmed or authenticated by a local universal or commercial bank. In case the bidder's bid is for two or more lots, the bidder shall indicate the lots bid for in the order of priority or preference, following the form prescribed in the bidding documents. The computation of NFCC shall take into account the lots bid for. The number of lots bid shall also consider the committed line of credit. The bid shall be allowed only to the extent or which is the number of lots as the NFCC or the committed line of credit shall cover. In any case, the NFCC computation or committed line of credit as well as the SLCC must be sufficient for all the lots or contracts bid for. The NFCC computation shall be in accordance with the prescribed form. In case of a bid involving two or more lots, the bidder shall indicate in the NFCC form the lots bid for in their order of priorities or preferences. The first lot in the order shall follow the following formula, which was discussed earlier. And for the subsequent lots, the formula shall be as follows: NFCC is equals to current assets minus current liabilities times 15 minus the value of all outstanding or uncompleted portions of the projects under ongoing contracts, including awarded contracts yet to be started, plus the value of the prior lots bid for. In case of a joint venture, the NFCC shall be computed based on the audited financial statement of the local lead partner, unless it is shown by clear proof that the other partners to the joint venture have infused capital investment to support the operation of the local lead partner to ensure compliance with the obligations under the contracts in this project. in which case the NFCC of the foreign joint venture or the minority partner of the joint venture shall be computed. For this purpose, the local lead partner shall be that person, organization, or company identified in the joint venture agreement or in the letters of intent for potential JV partners shown to have controlling stakes in the JV. For easier reference, participating JVs or prospective JV partners must indicate in their JVAs or letters of intent the local lead partner appointed by them. For ITB Clause 20.1, within a non-extendable period of 5 calendar days from the receipt by the bidder of the notice from the bank that it submitted the LCP, the bidder shall submit the following requirements. First is the latest income and business tax returns, printed copies of the electronically filed income tax and business tax returns with copies of their respective payment confirmation forms for the immediately preceding calendar or tax year from the authorized agent bank. Only tax returns filed and taxes paid through the BIR electronic filing and payment system shall be accepted. Please note that the latest income and business tax returns are those within the last 6 months preceding the date of its submission. Next is additional documentary requirements. Capture certificate on the availability of the submitted or approved samples for the next 5 years. For items requiring specific material either by design or functionality specifications, the bidder shall submit the manufacturer's certification that the material of the sample submitted conform with the prescribed technical specifications and training videos, user manuals, activity sheets, and products. To ensure the safety, efficacy, or quality of products and the other manufactured products shall pass the requirements of the regulatory body, bidders shall submit certificates, licenses, or other documents issued by such regulatory agency or other accredited certifying body, such as but not limited to FDA certificate for food and drugs, FEC for electronics equipment, and the like. During post-qualification, upon demand by the bank or its representatives, a bidder with the lowest calculated bid shall be able to present or submit documents to verify or support its statement of ongoing and or statement identifying the single largest completed contract, which may consist of the following: appropriate and clear duly signed contracts, purchase orders, agreements, notices of award, job orders, or notices to proceed, with a corresponding duly signed certificate of completion, delivery receipts, inspection and acceptance reports, certificates of final acceptance, or official receipts. For validation purposes, original copy of Class A eligibility documents and certified true copy documents as issued by the certifying authorized agencies. During post-qualification, while compliance of the goods offered with the requirements specified in this leading document shall be determined, including the following. As per Section 34.3 Item A of the IRR of RE 9184, verification of availability and commitment and/or inspection and testing for the required capacities and operating conditions of equipment units to be owned, leased, under purchase by the bidder for use in the contract under bidding, as well as checking the performance of the bidder in its ongoing government and private contracts. If any of these ongoing contracts shows negative slippage of at least 15% in any one project or negative slippage of at least 10% in each of two or more contracts. As per Section 34.383, Item A to C of the IRR of RA 9184, verification and or inspection and testing of the goods or product after sales and or maintenance capabilities in applicable cases, as well as checking the following. First is delaying the partial delivery of goods amounting to 10% of the contract price in its ongoing government and private contracts. Second is any of these contracts shows the bidder's failure to deliver or perform any or all of the goods or services within the period specified in the contract or within any extension thereof granted by the procuring entity pursuant to a request made by the supplier prior to the delay, and such failure amounts to at least 10% of the contract price or unsatisfactory performance of the supplier's obligation as per contract terms and conditions at the time of inspection. If the bank verifies any of these deficiencies to be due to the bidder's fault or negligence, the bank shall disqualify the bidder from the award for the procurement of goods. In case of foreign bidders, a certificate of authentication from the DFA shall be required for each document submitted, which is a Class A documents or its equivalent that are written in foreign language, translated to English and duly authenticated by the appropriate Philippine Foreign Service establishment or post, or the equivalent office having jurisdiction over the foreign bidder's affairs in the Philippines. To facilitate post-qualification, the bidder at its option may submit in advance on the deadline for submission and receipt of bids. The above requirements and other documents required in Section 2 ITP 2041. Failure to submit above requirements within the required time frame or a finding against the veracity of such documents or other documents submitted for the project shall be ground for disqualification of the bidder for the award and the enforcement of the basic agreement terms. Next is submission of samples for market items lots 4 to 40. In addition to the documentary requirements to be submitted during post-qualification clause 20.1, submitters with the lowest calculated bids for lots 4 to 14 shall be submit one sample item or unit for all the items within the lots bridge form, consistent with their actual offer as indicated in their bid. However, the bidder may provide a sample of letter of superior quality, which if accepted shall be the reference for award, contract, prospection, and eventual delivery. In case the item will be manufactured from abroad, the bidder may submit its list of equipment and a video showing the manufacturer's plant and equipment from abroad to prove the bidder's capability to manufacture the item. This sample shall be subjected to evaluation during post-qualification in which the PWG shall evaluate the said samples to determine compliance with the required technical specifications subject to the approval of the bank. In case of failed samples, the supplier is allowed to replace samples within 3 calendar days from the notice of replacement. If the bidder still fails to submit samples within the minimum depth and technical specifications, it shall be a ground for disqualification. Additional instructions for packaging under GCC Clause 1 under special conditions of the contract of the bidding documents. The packaging should be according to school and as per key stage, which may also be seen at the application fees provided in the bidding documents. The following shall appear on the exterior of the packages or the boxes. First is the template logo, the project name, items inside, the name, general description and quantity, the supplier's name and contact details. Lastly is the other provisions of the packaging, which may be referred to the FPO 41 series of 2021. For the mass production of cabinets for lot 3, the supplier must ensure that the items are properly sealed, complete, and properly packaged, which is disassembled, suitable for easier holding, transport, and storage upon delivery to the designated area to perform the formal acceptance of the items by the recipient school as the case may be. For GCC Clause 2.2 Schedule of Payment, the method and conditions of payment to be made to the supplier through the government disbursement procedure within 60 days after the date of acceptance of goods at the project site and upon submission of documents under this contract, it shall be as follows. For advance payment, an advance payment not to exceed 15% of the contract amount shall be allowed in paid within 60 calendar days from the signing of the contract. An irrevocable letter of credit or bank guarantee of an equivalent amount must be submitted and shall remain valid until the goods are delivered and accompanied by a claim for advance payment. For progress payments, the supplier shall be paid upon delivery to at least 25% of the recipient's goods with complete goods and acceptance of the same by an authorized representative of them. The supplier may submit a request for payment based on progress reports which shall be attached to the progress billing and include the following. First is the quantity of goods delivered based on the schedule of delivery and other relevant terms and conditions of the contract. Next is duly signed delivery receipts. Then duly signed inspection and acceptance reports, including certification by the supplier as approved by the duly authorized debtor representative or school head that the goods have been delivered and are properly installed and commissioned in accordance with the contract. And other documents in support of a request for payment may be required by them and pursuant to existing disbursement, accounting, and auditing rules and procedures. Please note that the supplier must furnish a copy of the above mentioned documents to the and accounting and the end user and the contract management individual of the procurement service. Payments shall be subject to the warranty provision in the form of either retention money in an amount equivalent to 3% of every progress payment or a special bank guarantee in the amount equivalent to 3% of the contract price as provided under under Section 62.1 of RA 9184 and is reversed. For final payment, it shall consist of the full and final payment of the unpaid, inspected, and accepted goods, subject to the submission of the required documents under the bidding documents. The release of retention money shall be at the expiration of the warranty period or the remaining amount in case it has been utilized pursuant to the warranty provision. For GCC SSC Clause 3 performance security, it shall be posted in favor of debted and shall be forfeited in the event it is established that the supplier is in default of any of its obligations under the contract. The supplier shall be responsible for the extension of its performance security and or renewal of its performance security whenever necessary and without need of prior notice or instruction from debted. This is to ensure that it is in force and effect for the whole duration of the contract delivery period and until a certificate of final acceptance is duly issued. The, the performance security shall not contain any deletion, crossing out, expunction, or any form of correction. Otherwise, that may reject such certificate if any such intercalation or alteration affects any material information or feature of the document. For GCC SSC Clause 4 inspection, the samples for the mass production items, lots 1 to 3, must be submitted by the supplier during the inspection or pre-delivery inspection, subject to the evaluation of the duly designated inspector. In case of failed samples, the supplier is allowed to replace samples within 3 calendar days from the notice of replacement. For GCC Clause 5 warranty, a 1-year comprehensive warranty for the non-expendable goods and 3 months for the expendable goods to be applied. The said warranty period shall reckon from the date of issuance of the CFA by the debtor that the delivered goods have been duly inspected and accepted. Payments shall be subject to the warranty provision in the form of either retention money in an amount equivalent to 3% of every progress payment or a special bank guarantee in the amount equivalent to 3% of the contract price as provided under Section 62.1 of RA 91. Replacement and repair of goods may be requested within 360 calendar days for non-expendable goods and 90 calendar days for expendable goods from the date of acceptance of goods by debtor. Replacement and repair of the goods shall be made within 30 calendar days upon claim or request the report. In case the supplier opts for retention money, that amount shall only be released after the lapse of the entire warranty period, unless during the remainder of the warranty period, the retention money is substituted with a special bank guarantee as prescribed above. Please note that the special bank guarantee shall also not contain any deletion, crossing out, expunction, or any form of correction. Otherwise, debtor may reject such security if any such intercalation, superimposition, or alteration affects any material information or feature of the document. For the schedule of requirements for lots 1 to 3 or mass production items, shall be delivered within 240 calendar days from the supplier's receipt of the notice of receipt, and for lots 4 to 14 or market items within 190 calendar days from the supplier's receipt of the notice of receipt. The delivery site shall be delivered door to door and inspected at the recipient's use as specified in the allocation list attached as Annex D of the bidding documents. The list of the description with the quantities is also attached in the schedule of requirements in the bidding documents. For the technical specifications, bidders must state here either comply or not comply against each of the individual parameters of each specification, stating the corresponding performance parameter of the equipment offered. Statements of comply or not comply must be supported by evidence in a bidder's need and cross-reference to that evidence. Evidence shall be in the form of manufacturer's unamended sales literature, unconditional statements of specification and compliance issued by the manufacturer, samples, independent test data, or etc. as approved. A statement that is not supported by evidence or is subsequently found to be contradicted by the evidence presented will render the bid under evaluation liable for rejection. A statement either in the bidder's statement of compliance or the supporting evidence that is found to be false either during bid evaluation, post-qualification, or the execution of the contract may be regarded as fraudulent and render the bidder or supplier liable for prosecution subject to the applicable laws and issuances. For the complete list of the technical specification, please refer to the section 7 and Annex E of the bidding documents posted. Please be reminded that under section 32.1 of the IRR of RA 9184, Members of the BAC, including its staff and personnel, as well as its secretariat and PWG, are prohibited from making or accepting any communication with any bidder regarding the evaluation of their bids until the issuance of the notice of award. However, the BAC, through its secretariat, may ask in writing the bidder for a clarification of its bids. All responses to requests for clarification shall be in writing. For the deadline for submission and opening of bids, it is scheduled on December 19, 2023. The deadline for the submission of bids is 9 a.m. and the opening of bids is 9:30 a.m. at the Office of the Undersecretary for Procurement Conference Room here in this venue. Late bids should not be accepted. For deadline of letter of clarifications, the bidders have until December 10, 2023, 5 p.m. and may be emailed to DepEdCentral.BlackSecretariat@DepEd.gov.ph. Please note that your official business email in sending your queries and clarifications must be clear. Mr. Chair, we are now open for
All right.
questions.
I hope you got everything that was read to us by our back secretariat. And if you have questions, now is the time to raise them. When you ask your question, please raise your hand and then tell us who you are and what company for purposes of putting these questions on record. All right. Any questions from the leaders? Clarifications? None? Please don't ask each other when you go out na ha? Because maybe the information that will be provided to you by the one you're asking is not official and therefore it might be wrong. Okay, so now is the time to ask if you have queries on what is posted. At any rate, James, if they have no questions now, they can still submit questions, right? Written questions until December 10. And that's what is it today? 7. So until December 10, you can submit those questions in writing or via email so that we can take them into consideration on our supplemental bid bulletin if ever we're going to come up with one. All right, any questions? All right, there you go.
Sir, gusto ko sa SLCC for lot 3.
SLCC for lot 3.
Kasi po yung requirement din is yung development storage company, manufacturing supply delivery of metal product.
Okay.
Pwede po ba namin gamitin if ever yung full purchase order?
Ano ba yung 3? Patingin yan ng 3. Storage cabinets. Parang dapat ito, James, it should be, kung ano yung, ano ba to? Ano bang hinihingi dito? End user. May end user. Yes.
Maybe ask po the end user to
Oh. What you're asking is whether you can use yung metal products na furniture. Oh. Oh, end user. Can you hear us?
Yes, good morning po, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
We required po na metal products po since our cabinet po is made of metals po.
So is it any kind of metal product? Baka naman ang product ng ating mga baril. Pwede ba yun? Ang kanilang experience ay paggawa ng baril, paggawa ng ano pa ba ginagawa ng metal product, paggawa ng araro. Oo. Hindi ba dapat more specific kayo dito? Kung storage cabinets to, then siguro cabinets. Metal cabinets, ano ba tawag mo doon?
Yes po, Mr. Chair, as long as they can follow po ang drawing namin, they will submit naman po a sample na which we evaluate po.
Ano daw?
So, samples, Mr. Chair, should be validated by the head of engineering.
You require samples during post-qual, perhaps. No. Oh, but because the question is SLCC, similar contracts. User, is there a need
Yes,
to modify
please.
this one?
Yes po, Mr. Chair, if the BAC decided po to include, to make it more specific po, we will adapt po the recommendation of the BAC. But our original proposal is just metal products po.
Metal products. Okay, we will take that under advisement. Okay, we'll have to talk and then come up with a big bulletin on that issue. All right, next question, please. Uy, mabait nila. Talaga lang, ha? No other questions? Yes, sige, tanong mo na lahat.
Dun kasi sa issue ng sample, nakalagay po kasi dun sa post-qual number 3. That's 4 to 48.
That's 2
That's something to
to 14.
4 to 14.
4 to 14. Sige nga, ano? Ilabas mo yan. Ilabas 4 to 14. What are those lots 4 to 14 comprised of? Most of. Pakilakyan nga yan. Pwede pang lumakyan. Yeah. Ilabas mo na lahat.
As long as sir, sa nakalagay po kasi dyan, yung sample for evaluation during post is 4 to 14.
Precisely.
Yung 1 to 3 po ba? Hindi po ba siya sa post-qual?
Ano ba yung 1 to 3? Yan. Basic. Ayan. Psychic. Anong tawag dito? End user, ano pa itong ano nyo? Are you saying daw that you are not requiring the on post-qual is sample of all this basic science kit, mathematics equipment, storage cabinet. Sabi nyo kanina, maging sample, tapos wala kayo dyan. Asan yung number 4? Yeah. Chemicals.
Mr.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, for the information po, we have categorized po na dalawang category po for the lots. So lots 1, 2, 3 po is our mass production, which is we have provided po a technical drawing po nito. So the bidder or the manufacturer will follow po talaga as per our technical drawing. While our market items po for lots 4 to 14 is based on the market survey po, we have conducted market survey with various sources po, and are the market items po already available po. So unlike the mass production, market items po can be evaluated during qualification. So in our previous practice po with the same kind of items for mass production, we prepare it to have after the contract, since it is quite investment for the supplier to produce a sample even selling po. So ano po yung specific question nga po, Mr. Chair?
Alright, I think you are lost, no? Ang specific question nila is, ang hini-require lang ninyo na may sampling on post-qual are items 4 to 14. So yung 4 to 14 nyo, chemicals, number 4, ano yung sunod nila? Glassware and lab tools, number 5, Science devices, 6. Science devices, instruments and measuring tools, 7. Mathematical, manipulative tools and instruments, 9, 10. Model Earth, etc. Yan yung mga ano nyo eh. The human anatomy, dapat ba may patay na dadalhin? Papakita, ano ba yan? And I'm not sure about this, no? Pero ang tinatanong nila, are these the only ones required of you to provide samples, of them to provide samples during post-qual? Hindi na ba daw yung nasa 1 to 4? 1 to 3. 1 to 3.
Yes, Mr. Chair. I think they are just referring po na dun sa what is indicated po sa bidding document. So, na-review ko na din po itong bidding document. So, naka-clearly state po dun na 4 to 14 yung requirement of samples during post-qualification stage. So, for lots 1, 2, 3, the samples will be we are still requiring samples po, but after the post-qualification stage na po.
Why?
Because it is, as proposed po by the NU, sir, we realize that it is a investment from them to produce the molds of this basic equipment. So, malaking investment po yun. So, we realize na we
I
prefer
disagree
to
with
have
you.
it.
I disagree with you, sir. Kasi baka pag after na, may contract na, tapos pag ang pinalabas nila, mas malaking kasayangan yon kung ang ibinigay nila ay hindi eksakto sa gusto nyo. Eh, isa-isa lang naman siguro bawat isa dyan. Pwede naman sila magpakita on post-qual, leaders. Diba? Kasi kaya sa naman, after ng post-qual, nanalo na kayo, and then saka kayo magpapakita ng anong tawag dito, sample user, and then yun doon ang mangyayari, hindi tatanggapin kasi hindi eksakto. Yes.
Dapat require specific modes po kasi customize po ang designs nito based po sa designs ni DLR, which is hindi po siya nakikita ito market. Once po magbigay kami ng sample during POSWA, limited lang po ang supplier na makakasali dun sa POSWA or dun sa lahat na yan, yung mga may gold nila po talaga. Which is the previous suppliers.
So,
Dahil kamukha po namin meron kami mold, kami na po ang makakasali po lang sa 1, 2, 3. Hindi po siya open sa lahat. Kasi ang molds po cost millions, sirs.
isang mold lang.
Isang mold, sir, cost million po yun. Kasi mold po yun na isang malaki po na in-inject ng plastic and daan.
Yung basic science kit.
Yes, sir. Ang isang example pang laptop is 41 items po siya. So medyo maraming molded po siya na kailangan po mag-invest ng suppliers. Tapos,
We are only asking, for example, let's discuss about this kasi hindi ako familiar dito sa, ngayon lang ako nakakakita ng bidding na ang walang sample on post-qual. Dapat meron talaga yan. Kasi paano namin malalaman kung ano ibibigay nyo kung hindi namin makikita yung quality at lahat-lahat yan. Hindi namin Kaya nga this is competitive bidding. You are joining a competitive bidding. So it's up to you if you think it is worth to waste money or to use some money, invest on these molds or whatever for the purpose of this bidding. No? It's up to you. Kasi nga, hindi pwedeng ang gobyerno ang maghihintay at titingnan namin after na kayo mag-qualify or saka namin kayo hihingan ng sample. Tapos sasabihin nyo, ngayon lang kami magpapakita ng sample, di ba? Parang, I think this is contrary to what is the spirit of our law, no? So, if you feel, and you, sir, I don't think it is the problem of the department, no? On whether or not our bidders will use a certain amount to provide samples for the products they are offering, because we cannot look at the quality and all this if they do not provide samples on post-qual but instead provide samples only after the execution of the contract. Is that what I understand about this? Tama ba ako, James? They will only provide samples after the execution of a contract. which is contrary to the spirit of 9184. How can we determine that the samples you provided after execution of the contract will be beneficial to the government? Okay? So, for that matter, 1 to 3 will also be included doon so we will submit, perhaps you will come up, I don't know, what do you think, other bidders? This is competitive bidding. So nasa sa inyo yan. If you want to join or not, spend some money to come up with modes. But please, it should not be the department should not be held hostage by, the thought that, you might spend some amount to come up with the samples that we should look at on post-qual. Because how can we determine who has the best offer on post-qual? Tandaan nyo, under the process of procurement, after na na-declare ka na LCRB, on post-qual, your product will have to be examined whether or not it coincides with what the department wants. Anyway, may diagram naman, ano yung sinabi niya? And user, meron naman kayong specs yata doon? Technical specs and all, di ba? May provided naman sila. Yan, no? Yan.
Yes po, Mr. Chair.
Yan. So, isa lang naman hindi naman siguro lahat yan, yung 41 igagawin. Isa lang. Sample lang para makita natin kung ano yung ino-offer. And whether or not that is really what the department needs. Meron naman yan. Ganon din ba yan? For the longest time, ganyan ba yan? Oh. But there is no reason why we cannot provide a sample on post-qual if you reach the stage of post-qualification. So, I guess there has to be a supplemental bid bulletin on this, James. Ano ba?
To emphasize na per samples.
If the BAC requires a sample, then we will require the samples to be presented on post-qual. Okay, so we will come up with a bid bulletin on this. We'll take everything under consideration. I'm just saying I disagree with the end user, but it will have to be dependent on the BAC members because I am not a voting member of the BAC. Okay? So sige. Thank you for the question and thank you for the clarification also. Wag ko kayong magsawang magtanong. Meron pa ba? Mapait nila talaga. Sige. Are you sure there are no other questions? Online is Yusef. Yusef, can we hear your thoughts?
Yes, I'm
Yusef.
listening. Yeah. Ano bali yung question?
The question was, why is are the bidders not required to submit on post-qualification samples of the items contained in lots 1, 2, and 3? So the user, was saying that they are not requiring samples for lots 1, 2, and 3 because they know that it is expensive to create or to produce a sample for these lots. But as I was saying, we cannot. I disagree with that because on post-qual, whoever wins on post-qual or goes to post-qual among the bidders should be able to show the sample of what they're going to give the department. Otherwise, the alternative is after the execution of the contract, that is when the samples will be given or will be shown. And in that sense, what will be the basis now of the rejection? Diba? So that is where we are right now, Yusef. What are your thoughts on this, please?
My question is actually
Wala siya. Yusef, sorry, napuputol ka. Do you hear us? Can you hear us? Putol yata. Is he online? Meron signal.
Okay.
Yusek, hindi ka namin narinig. Wala kaming narinig sa'yo.
Now, can you hear me now?
Yan, better po.
Yeah, oo. Yung question yung question
Yusek,
din ba yung requirement?
Yusek, napuputol-putol ka. Hindi namin naiintindihan yung sinasabi mo.
Is it better now? Better now?
Yes, we can hear you now. Yes, please.
Yung question ko lang is during the normal bid, kasi this is EPA, di ba? In our normal bidding ng SME, ganun din ba yung requirement na after contract execution saka sila magsasample?
James.
Sir, we have to know how to require samples during post-one.
Binago na rin daw yung requirement Yusek at nag-require ng samples during post-one.
So kaya nga, so dito lang sa EPA siya biglang binago. Nung normal bidding ng SME, itong katatapos na SME bidding, ano yung style pagdating sa sample ng yung mga lots na yan?
They-require na daw din na mag-submit ng samples on post-one, ordinary bidding.
Yeah, oo. Yun nga, exactly. Kasi sa post-call talaga siya tinitingnan.
Oo.
Kaya normally nga, diba, we give them actually 5 days pa nga. Ang issue nga parati dyan is, pag ikaw yung LCB, biglaan, no, you have to produce a sample within 3 days, within 5 days, yun, minsan nakakagipitan sa oras. That usually is the issue eh. But yeah, but you need to present the sample during PQ.
That's right, that's right.
Oo.
So, okay,
And since that is also the normal practice naman before eh, so wala naman issue with the bidders kasi yun naman talaga yung ginagawa natin even before that, yung katatapos lang na SME bidding.
yeah. And it is quite strange if we will not require samples, no? Before on post one, kasi it is actually provided for by law that you need to show samples on post one for purposes of determination whether or not what you're offering is really something that could be useful or at the end of the day beneficial to the end user, which is the government. Okay? So, all right. Any other questions from our bidders? Talagang ayaw na nila. O sige, parang may streak ako dito, James, ha? Konti lang nagtatanong. I hope may bibili ng bid. Kasi hindi na sila nagtanong. Okay, if there are no questions, members of the back, do I hear any motion? Motion to adjourn? Do I hear any motion to adjourn? Naulan muna yung second. Naulan muna yung nag-motion. Nag-motion.
I second the motion.
Okay.
I second the motion.
Okay, it has been moved and seconded that we adjourn in today's activity of the BAC 6, the early procurement activity 4. Sorry. Science and math equipment. Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is carried. We now adjourn. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for attending our activity today. And I hope you buy your dogs so that you can participate in our bidding. James, kailan ulit yung proposed opening of bids? December 19. Yeah, 19. Deadline and then opening of bids, diretso yan. 9 a.m. ang deadline for submission. 9:30 a.m. ang opening of bids. The venue could possibly change, no? Depending kung marami kayo. Okay? If there are no other questions, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. Meron pa ba ako? Vaccines? Yes? Wala na. So I will wait for that. So ikaw ba? Meron pa ba? tayo. May ibang back pa ba na may back to, wala naman, tapos lang ako.
Back to 4 pa po minutes.
So, wala na. Okay, thank you.
Thank you po, sir.
Active po yung dito sa service.
Oo, i-update mo.
Thank you, sir.
Ayos natin. Okay, thank you very much. Hindi kailangan mag-stock application.
Thank you po.
Thank you.